Hello and welcome back to Global 2. This is Mr. Kirkhausen, and I'm going to be going through the PowerPoint and lesson for today. So today we're actually going to be talking about decolonization. So as you guys probably remember from November and December, we talked about colonization, and the big European powers went into Africa and Asia and kind of took over, tried to control people within a lot of these African countries. They went in there to get all of the natural resources. But from about the late 1800s to the early 20th century, um, there actually started to be a process of decolonization where local groups and countries wanted independence. This started in the early 20th century up to the later 20th century, but around 1950 there was still a lot of colonization going on. The big European powers, Great Britain, France, Belgium, Netherlands, still had a lot of control. So as you see in the map on the left, the darker sections are actually African territory that was still under the colonization of Europeans, aside from four countries: Liberia, Ethiopia, Egypt, and South Africa, which were the only four countries to be fully independent at the time. But if you look at the map on the right, you will see that most of the continent actually had gained its independence. And there's a reason for this, which we're going to kind of take a look at today. So, two vocabulary words that will want to know. One you know from before: colonization is the act of setting up a colony away from one person of origin. So, the country of France would go into a location in Africa, Asia, or for the country of Spain, South America, basically take over, put their government system in place, set up a new way of life for the citizens, perhaps change the religion, perhaps change the language. So as we can see, France colonized Haiti, Portugal colonized Brazil. They forced people to speak French, Portuguese, Spanish in some cases, English in some cases, and basically set up a new way of life. And they did this, as we know, to gain raw materials. However, the new word for today is actually decolonization. It's undoing the colonization and giving independence to the nations that wanted to make decisions for themselves. So if we look back at the map, we'll see the continent of Africa by 1980, aside from one little small area called Namibia, which is actually free today. Um, Different groups were able to get their independence. Now, if you look at the map on the right, you see it's all white. It was not one country. There's actually about 52 countries in Africa. It's just to kind of show you the difference between 1950 and 1980. One was in the 50s, was almost completely controlled by Europe, whereas by 80, most of the continent of Africa had gained its freedom. Okay, so one of the big reasons for this was an idea called Pan-Africanism. Pan-Africanism is an ideology and movement that encouraged the unity of Africans worldwide, believes that this unity is vital to African economic, social, and political progress, aims to unify and uplift the people of African descent. This is the flag. Red shows the um, common blood of the African people. Black represents the skin color of the people, and green is the vegetation or uh, vast kind of agrarian nature of the continent. So that's the Pan African flag. And even though there were many, many different cultures and languages, they decided, hey, we're all under this common problem of colonialization. So we need to unite as a people and then individually gain our independence. And that's what we're going to be looking at today. So here is our assignment. So there is the definition